Well, buddy, welcome back to the latest Manchester United news. Now, in this video, we'll be talking about Jadon Sancho exit to Juventus. We'll be talking about Rashford potentially to Barcelona and the shock report from about Real Madrid. We'll also be talking about some other interesting news around EMI Martinez as well. But I want to start off, it's coming in from loads of Italian sources suggesting that Juventus have entered the race for Jadon Sancho. Juventus entering the race for Jadon Sancho. Talks with Manchester United have begun in the last few hours. Meanwhile, Napoli are ahead of the game, having already contacted the player in recent days. So, listen, Juventus, they're having talks with United. Napoli are having talks with the player. Juventus have made an offer of 25 million. The offer was considered an important one. Now, Juventus have to convince the player, as it stands, who is interested by a move to Napoli. So, it seems like two clubs are fighting for Sancho at the minute. For me, on the Sancho situation, I just want to see him at the football club. As I said, 25 million is a perfect price. It's just all about what the player will choose now. Now, the sources, again, coming in from Italy, so again, they're well sourced on the news. For me, Sancho, again, he's not a great player. And listen, if any club wants to take him, I'll be more than happy for him to do that. I think with Sancho, he's not in Ruben Amorim's plans. He doesn't fit into the team. He doesn't deserve a second chance. And yeah, Juventus, listen, they're interested in signing him. £25 million. We'll take Jadon Sancho and move on. I think this conversation is over. He doesn't have a future at Manchester United, and it's ultimately about him leaving and focus on bringing in the next player and using the money we get from him to invest it into the squad. Now, I want to talk about Andre Onana now. Andre Onana is AS Monaco considering signing Andre Onana. That's coming from France. There's also been some other interesting updates on the goalkeeper situation amid Manchester United interest in Martinez. Laurent Julien is reporting that Aston Villa made contact with Lille regarding Lucas Chevalier for around £40 million. EMI Martinez camp is working overtime to make it known he's eager to join United. No approach from Manchester United, and all indications have been of Andre Onana staying and playing first team football. EMI Martinez, we know, would be open to the move United without UCL football. Depends on Onana, who has not been told he is surplus to requirements and will be staying at United. Manchester United have only planned to add a number 2 this summer, but can now be opportunistic to starting keepers. Villa yet to receive an approach, but Manchester United are aware that he's willing to join. Listen, I think lots of this is obviously Martinez as a player. Villa will be selling due to PSR. Valuation informed by Matt Mignan, 25 million. Martinez well contracted until 2029, and they consider north of 30 million, so closer to 40. Listen, on the Martinez situation, a lot of people have said that they wouldn't take him, and I understand why. He's 33. He's got like a bad temperament. He does make mistakes, but so does all keepers. I think Onana actually made more saves than him last season in the Premier League. But yeah, listen, for me, I think if you're looking at, he would definitely be an improvement over Andre Onana, and I think that's something that you have to look at. I think right now is not a priority, but the goalkeeper definitely is a position we have to improve. I mean, going into the season with Onana doesn't fill us with lots of confidence. I know many people wouldn't want it, but for £40 million, he's still got years left on his contract. Villa, again, there's lots of players there we should be looking at. I wouldn't mind bringing in a goalkeeper. I wouldn't mind bringing in a goalkeeper to the current situation that we have. We know Tom Heaton's already going to stay on. We know Binder wants to leave, and I think he should be leaving. He's just not good enough. So yeah, we have to seriously look at bringing in another keeper. Who that is, we don't know. I think that will be something that we see till next season. As I said, there's been so many errors from Onana, which we're not going to get into now. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, Marcus Rashford. Now, reports are suggesting Manchester United prepared for the possibility of loaning Rashford for next season. He wants UCL football, and it's not entertained by Turkey or Saudi. Manchester United think low possibility of getting a £4 million bid. Inter Milan have inquired about a loan. Manchester United expect him to move abroad. Now, Barcelona will push to sign Rashford once the Nico Williams deal is complete and departures are finalised. Barcelona see Rashford operation as a big opportunity they can't miss out on. Rashford is eager to join Barcelona. And also there's reports that he has been offered to Madrid. So it does look like, listen, Rashford is probably the most sellable out of the attackers at the moment. for me, Rashford, I'd look at selling him to a club who just will be interested in taking him. I think he's a much more sellable asset than Sancho. And there is a player in there. He just hasn't worked with Amorim, and I just don't think he has a future at United anymore. I certainly look at selling him for a bit of money, whether that's 20, 30, hopefully £40 million for Rashford, but you wish him all the best. He's been a great servant to the club. Again, I don't think he has a future at the club, and I think a club abroad will ultimately take him. And I think that's the right decision to be made, and I think that's something that should happen. I think Barca, Madrid, I think more Barca look seemingly interested in him at the current moment, but obviously they're going to sign Nico Williams, so would Rashford want to go there? There's concerns about limited playing time as well, so listen, on the Rashford situation is open, but I think he will definitely move abroad, and I think he wants to. I think there's been a lot of pressure on him, especially still being in the Premier League. And he had a good loan at Villa, but I just think he will move to a different club, so let me know your thoughts on that as well. Now, the final thing I want to talk about is Antony. Antony is ready to take a wage cut 30% to leave United. United want a fee of around 32.58 million to avoid the loss under PSR, and he earns around 150k per week. So he wants to go on around 115 grand a week to leave. For me, Antony's a player who, again, there's reports saying that he might be at United till pre-season to kind of see if we can find an exit for him. For me, again, Antony, there's not many clubs interested. I think Real Betis look confident. Obviously Juventus, but if they go for Sancho, would they go for Antony as well? But for me, I don't want a loan for Antony, Sancho or Rashford, to be honest. I want permanent deals for them all. Maybe you get 25 for Sancho, 40 for Rashford, 30 for Antony. That's what, 95 million, I think. 40 for Rashford, 25 for Sancho, 65, 30. Yeah, 95 million pounds. You can reinvest that, maybe get Gyökeres, maybe get someone else as well. And I think that's something that United need to do. As I said, 32 million is probably what Antony is worth, to be honest. I mean, he was never worth the 80 million price tag that we did pay for him, or the 100 million euros. But listen, I do wish Antony all the best if he leaves. I think clubs will be interested in signing him, but yeah, let's see what happens. But obviously we've just seen now Tottenham interested in Semenyo. So maybe does that open up the door for Mbeumo to use United? But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. And yeah, thanks for watching.